It's wonderful, wonderful to have you back. I am Serena. This is Life Vocabulary, and I wanted to continue reading from Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being. And why? Why did I want to? Because, my goodness me, as a creative and as a creator, occasionally I feel like I'm just getting stuck in my head. And as a consultant, I do lots of comms. I'm just going to say lots of comms, PR, strategic work. And you get so stuck in your head in the intellectual of it all. And when you're stuck in your intellect and your mind and the data, doesn't matter what you do, you need to get back into flow because it feels much more rigid compared to a state where you're able to get creative impulses or experience peace and more presence. So I'm reading because it's therapeutic for me and hopefully helpful for you. So I believe we're looking at area of thought 7, since that's what Rick Rubin's done with this book. He's sort of arranged them according to areas of thought rather than chapters. And occasionally there's also a passage and a quote, so I'll read that as well. It's not unusual for science to catch up to art eventually, nor is it unusual for art to catch up to the spiritual. Occasionally, Rick Rubin does this thing where he just kind of drops these quotes, and right, that's enough. You can go now. That's enough of the reading. That will give you enough food for thought to take you out of the not just the mundane, but the routine of it all. And that sort of food for thought, that kind of prompt can help you get unstuck. And that's what journal prompts are great for as well, I find, where it will ask you questions, or where you have to ask yourself questions that perhaps you're not asking, and then you're able to explore something completely different that you hadn't expected to explore had you just sort of been left to your own mind's devices. So this is called Look for Clues, and it's area of thought 7. I've rather helpfully l- written down the number next to each area of thought because it's divided up according to just the topic, I guess. Material for our work surrounds us at every turn. It's woven into conversation, nature, chance encounters, and existing works of art. When looking for a solution to a creative problem, pay close attention to what's happening around you. Look for clues pointing to new methods or ways to further develop current ideas. A writer may be in a coffee shop working on a scene and unsure what a character is going to say next. A phrase might be overheard in the chatter from another table that provides a direct answer, or at least a glimpse of a possible direction. We receive these types of messages all the time. If we remain open to them, we might read a book and find a quote leaping off the page, or watch a movie and notice a line that moves us to pause and rewind. Sometimes it's the exact answer we've been looking for, or it could be an echo of an idea that keeps repeating in other places, begging for more attention or affirming the path we're on. This is exactly what I'm talking about when you're in this sort of flow state, this creative flow state. That's where these kinds of things occur, and then it's like confirmation. You know, I'm in a good place. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to Life Vocabulary, please do. Would really appreciate it. Let me know if this is resonating with you as well. Drop something in the comments. These transmissions are subtle. They are ever present, but they are easy to miss. If we aren't looking for clues, they'll pass by without us ever knowing. Notice connections and consider where they lead. When something out of the ordinary happens, ask yourself why. What's the message? What could be the greater meaning? I love that because often we are looking for the answers and the information and the data. And what if we just asked the question and just left it there in our psyche, wherever wherever you want? It could just be written on a post-it and left on the fridge in the morning, and then at the end of the day, in the evening, look back at the question and think, "Ah, did I get this answer? Try it. Let me know." So when something out of the ordinary happens, ask yourself why, what's the message, what could be the greater meaning. This process isn't a science. We can't control clues or will them to be revealed. Sometimes it helps to have a strong intention to find a specific answer or to confirm a particular path. Other times, letting go of that intention altogether can help you find your way. When you're overthinking it and you kind of just gotta surrender a little bit. Sometimes it says you may be able to think less. Okay, I just jumped ahead because I got lost in thought. Other times, letting go of that intention altogether can help you find your way. An integral part of the artist's work is deciphering these signals. The more open you are, the more clues you will find and the less effort you will need to exert. You may be able to think less and begin to rely on answers arising within you. That's what I was talking about. That sort of separation. Have you found maybe you're this person, let me know, or there are people that you speak to in conversation and they say, well, I think, therefore I am, that old Descartes line. And they're not really practiced at being aware of their thoughts because they identify so strongly with them. And that passage right there, you may be able to think less and begin to rely on answers arising within you, again, is inviting us to get into that space of awareness. You might imagine that the outside world is a conveyor belt with a stream of small packages on it, always going by. The first step is to notice the conveyor belt is there, and then anytime you want, you can pick up one of those packages, unwrap it, and see what's inside. A helpful exercise might be opening a book to a random page and reading the first line your eyes find. See how what's written there somehow applies to your situation. Any relevance it bears might be by chance, but you might allow for the possibility that chance is not all that's at play. When my appendix burst, the doctor who diagnosed it insisted that I go to the hospital immediately to have it removed. I was told there were no other options. I found myself in a nearby bookstore. Standing out on a table in the front was a new book by Dr. Andrew Weil. I picked it up and let it fall open. The first passage my eyes went to said, if a doctor wants to remove a part of your body and they tell you it has no function, don't believe this. The information I needed was made available to me in that moment, and I still have my appendix. When clues present themselves, it can sometimes feel like the delicate mechanism of a clock at work, as if the universe is nudging you with little reminders that it's on your side and wants to provide everything you need to complete your mission. Ooh, I hope that served as a much needed pause for you, a reminder. It definitely helped me to pause and remember what I'm doing it all for and where my focus has been. And perhaps I've been a little bit too much in my head, which occurs with all of us. It's that thing that sort of we're all inflicted with, and that is being a human being and having a mind and residing in the intellect so much. And that's why I advocate for being immersed in creative acts, in any creative outlets where you get into that flow state, or you might read a passage and then just reflect on it. And you'll find that you'll be somewhere else. You'll feel somewhere else. Let me know if you have felt somewhere else as you're finishing listening to this. I really do appreciate your time here. I have just gotten over a cold, so I'm still a little bit croaky, but I do appreciate your time and your attention since it is the most valuable thing that we have. So please give your attention to things that will fuel you and fill you up, or at least contribute to your mission. I will find you again in the next audio. I was going to say video, but in the next audio where I want to share a bit more, I will have more like this coming up. I find it to be incredibly valuable to share this kind of reflection. I feel like we don't have enough of it in our life and in our world. And if you do, you are very fortunate indeed. Please carry on doing it and share it with us in the comments. And if you would like more from me, then I have a weekly newsletter called Life Stuff That Matters. And I'm actually launching it at the moment. So you can subscribe to that. And it's where I share quite concisely life stuff that matters. But you've been listening to Life Vocabulary. I'm Serena. And please do get back into the creative flow.